So it's been a while since we talked about Fortnite, and even a longer time since I played Fortnite. I hope what I'm showing you guys is anywhere decent. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah it is. Rewind that one. Oh, that's a good shot. That one's gonna be on a Kotaku replay any day now. With that, let's talk about Fortnite, because there was just a major error made by IGN's part. At least that's where I got the article where they admit their mistake, that Fortnite was going to, again, this is all false old information, but the news story stated that Fortnite was no longer going to support crossplay in the game with Nintendo Switch players and Xbox and PS4 players, meaning that if you owned a Nintendo Switch, no longer would you be able to play with friends on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or PC. You would only be able to crossplay with players on mobile. Now, with that, there is a lot of news stories out there now that need to update their story because this information is false. Big shout out to Rybo, because I was making a video about this as we speak, talking about how disappointed I was in this decision made by Epic Games to kind of just roll back some of the changes to crossplay and cross progression. So again, big shout out to Rybo for saving my ass, because I would have probably spread more false information. Thank you. You're the best. You're the best of all of us, man. Thank you so much. With that, the true news is this. If you are playing on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, now you're automatically pooled with those players. So if you're playing on a PlayStation 4, you're now just also playing with Xbox people. And if you're playing on a Nintendo Switch, you're not pooled with Xbox or PlayStation players. Instead, you are automatically pooled with mobile players. Why? Because the Xbox and the PlayStation versions of Fortnite both run the game at a smoother 60 FPS, meaning that originally, if you were pooled with people that own a Switch, the Switch was at a disadvantage because the game ran only at 30 FPS on the Nintendo Switch. So your character on PlayStation 4 was able to move smoother, was able to move faster, was able to shoot faster. And it actually showed in a Digital Foundry side-by-side comparison that if you were playing on a PlayStation 4, your shots were hitting the targets quicker than the Nintendo Switch version. So with that, IGN kind of messed up, not kind of, they did, messed up, and they read the information wrong, which gave the impression that all crossplay between the Nintendo Switch and fellow partners was just disabled, and that, again, is not true. Now, if you're on a Nintendo Switch, you can invite people on PlayStation. You'll be at a disadvantage, but you're still able to cross-party play, and that is a huge thing with cross-platform plays. It's one thing to play with more people on all platforms, but it's different when you're playing with your friends across all platforms. So this is actually a smart implementation of crossplay, and how Epic has seen a problem, analyzed it, and effectively gone to work on fixing it. This is an awesome step for crossplay going into the future, but it does highlight one big problem, and that's the misinformation that is so easily happening in the gaming industry as we speak. And not just the misinformation and misleading, again, people, your fellow customers, your consumers, but it's also bandwagoning. We saw after this IGN article, and you're gonna see various articles, I don't even need to name the rest of them, have similar titles with similar structures, with similar stories, with the similar facts. It's like nobody even bothered to read the patch notes in the first place. Now, with that said, I just came out and admitted myself that I almost came out with a similar video. That's because when I read the patch notes, I too was, again, a little confused, a little confuzzled, but it just goes to show you that even just people get it wrong sometimes. And now you're going to get similar videos as mine, where fellow YouTubers are going to attack these sites for the misinformation that they accidentally, or some of them maybe even intentionally, spread by their bandwagoning. But guys, we're no different. Fellow YouTubers, we're no different. I just came out and admitted that I almost made the same mistake that all these publications made. And that even seeing it on YouTube, there are YouTubers, you could just type it in. I'm not going to give them a spotlight or anything like that, not trying to start any trouble, but you can see YouTubers have done the same thing. We all jump on the bandwagon because these sites are aggregators for people like me who shoot and shout opinion pieces on YouTube via blogs, vlogs, or podcasts. So there's equal blame to be spread across the landscape of gaming right now, that we need to be smarter when we read certain stories, whether we're bandwagoning on something. We need to make sure that we have or are coming from a different place, so that we're not just spreading the same information, that we're not just making the same video over and over again. We need to be better. I need to be better in providing you guys stories, because again, I was gonna fuck up today. I was gonna make that mistake. I was gonna bandwagon. I wanted to come through a different perspective, of course, because if I can't come through a different perspective, I'm not gonna make a video. But again, I'll be right there and admit it. I almost made that mistake, and I see others making that mistake. And again, I no doubt am going to see people on the YouTube high horse going, look at how stupid IGN is. It's like, no, we were all going to make that mistake, and some of us did. So I don't understand the anger. Again, mistakes happen, mistakes get made. We need to be better with this. This is awesome news for crossplay though, because again, you're now being able to be pooled in a smart way against people around your same skill type and around your same hardware output. So this is great news for crossplay, and this is also just a word to the wise when we're making videos, when we're making articles, that we need to be better. And we can't be just reactionary. We need to actually come with solutions, and we just need to be better. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, again, please go easy on this person. Don't be mean to IGN or anybody that works in any of these publications. Mistakes happen. Sometimes they're big like this, but at the end of the day, we're all human. Again, I was about to make the same mistake. I read the same patch notes. It was just like, yeah, okay, sure. That was my human error. And we need to be better instead of being on our high horse and looking at things, 20 feet above sea level. So we just need to be better to each other. Mistakes happen, and I can only imagine how that person feels that made that mistake, because there was a miscommunication somewhere along the line. So again, if you applaud my honesty and my transparency, it would mean a lot if you hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Helps me out, builds this big beautiful family that I call home. And I want to know what you thought of this whole situation. Who is to blame? Is it Epic's patch notes guy? Is it IGN? Is it all of us for just pulling out the mat and jumping to conclusions? I want to know what your thoughts are down below. And here at Bad Big Games, if you like what you saw, we do news, impressions, should you buy, unboxings. We do a podcast called The Trophy Room, a podcast made by the players for the players, each and every Thursday with my best friend Kyle here at Bad Big Games, iTunes, and everywhere where there's an RSS feed, stuff. So with all that said, ran out of breath. Chill, breathe. Keep your wits about you. Have a nice one.